Hi, guys, and welcome back to Marant's Rants. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. We're going to go over AMC stock right now in detail. If you are an AMC investor, please pay attention. I want you guys to know exactly what's about to happen to the balance sheet, the company itself, and I'm going to explain it the best way I can. Okay. All right, here we go. So this is the stock price, not to be confused with the actual market cap of the company. You see, the float has been increased, decreased, you name it, over this whole timeline, but the stock is way down here at around $9.26. But that's all because of a 10-to-1 reverse stock split. You guys know the whole history of it. If you don't, just pay attention. The market cap down here is at about $1.84 billion. That's today's market cap. The peak of the market cap for AMC at any given year before that, before this huge pump, was around $3.5 billion. Okay? So I want you to know the difference. From way down here to way up here, the market caps are totally different. It does not matter the price of the stock itself because the floats weren't the same. They weren't equivalent. To have an equivalent float, to give you an example, today's market cap of $1.84 billion is on 200 million shares. The market cap over here of $3.5 billion was on 5 million shares, equivalent. Okay, they used to have a 50 million share float, but 10-to-1, 5 million shares. So do you see the difference? The price may look different. It might mess with you, but who cares? I just want you guys to understand what you're looking at. $3.5 billion was the peak, but I'll show it to you in a different way so you guys really understand. Here are your market caps for AMC. The history, okay? And at one point, they were at 3.7. I said 3.5, 3.7. You know what it was. Now, at one point, they were under $1 billion. 2019 and 2020, they were $450 million. And the reason why they were so far down and the stock price was so far down because they were getting ready for bankruptcy. They were going to get gutted into the ground, and everybody knew that. So it was the short sellers' perfect. You know, it was their Armageddon, basically. They're coming through it. And as they started buying back in and taking profits, it went all the way to the moon. You guys can see it way up here. The market caps themselves got bigger than anything you could ever imagine, and everyone started selling off. And I'm talking about the executives sold off, everyone you can think of, institutions, everybody made billions of dollars off of this play, except for you, the investor, who lost millions of dollars. A lot of people lost millions of dollars. Not me, because you guys saw when I sold and whoever else. But the point was that this is not what the company's actually worth. It's worth a lot less. And I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to show you where it's headed. And you guys can tell me any movie in the world that's coming out. You can tell me all of it, but you got to know what AMC is telling you. And the reason why Adam Aron is running his business the way he is, the reason why insiders are not buying shares, and it's because of this bad boy right here. It's called Goodwill. And I've been talking about Goodwill for like a year and a half, telling people what's about to happen. It's been happening. At one point, their highest Goodwill appraisal was at $4.5 billion. Okay, $4.5 billion. It's an asset. It's on the sheet. It's 2.3 right now today. Now, the appraisal is for anything that they might have bought in the past, and it holds weight. It's going to go put onto your balance sheet. It's going to say, this is an asset for me. And over time, it loses its value. It depreciates. So you burn off Goodwill on the balance sheet. So if they bought $1 billion worth of dead movie theaters in Europe, another billion here in America, that was $2 billion of dead movie theaters. But before they even did that, they came into the fight with Goodwill on the sheet as well. Because they already had debt, guys. When they went public, they actually had debt of $2 billion. And they were going public. And that was because private equity's been involved with AMC since 2001 when Apollo bought them out. They later merged with JP Morgan. And then they went and sold off a portion to Wanda, but yet JP Morgan was still in the driver's seat with Apollo on the backside as well. So they put their man in place, their Apollo employee by the name of Adam Aron, who's the CEO now of the company. They went public, they took it from you, and now you're dealing with the problem. Well, here's the problem. Right here, Goodwill, $2.3 billion. All right, that's the appraisal on the company itself. What's the market cap today, guys? 1.84. So how the hell is your Goodwill over the appraisal of the company on the market cap? Well, whenever that happens on the stock market, you will see an impairment charge, and it's going to hit the books. And when it hits the books, guys, it hurts. It hurts the balance sheet because it takes whatever operational debt you might have, or operational profit you might have, and they take it straight from there. GameStop's a true, a victim of this, right? This is called where they're short selling the stock. They're attacking it all the way down to the ground. GameStop was worth $150 million market cap. Well, they had Goodwill of over $1 billion. Guess what happened to the Goodwill? It burned off, and they showed $1 billion loss on the sheet. And everyone goes, hey, GameStop doesn't make money. It's a dying company. It's going under. No, it's not. The stock price made that happen. They knew how to manipulate the stock price. That's why GameStop can't go down like they want it to, because they have no more goodwill to burn. When you run out of goodwill to burn, now it's just cash and how you operate. That's it. So that's a good balance sheet. It's a strong balance sheet. That's why GameStop's 2-1 on assets versus liabilities. But Bed Bath & Beyond, complete opposite. Bed Bath & Beyond had goodwill to burn, and they burned it all off into January of this year. And once they hit zero on goodwill, guys, that balance sheet was completely upside down, $2.8 billion. It was a shareholder deficit, and guess what happened? You can't recover out of that. You can't dig out of that. And they knew it. So they filed for bankruptcy, called it a day, and that was the play. Yes, on the stock, on you, and on the public. Now, there's a lot of people out there pumping stocks, pumping misinformation because they don't know how to read the balance sheet. Now, watch this, okay? AMC, where do they sit on shareholder equity? They're already at $2.5 billion in the hole on shareholder equity. So when you burn off $2.3 billion worth of goodwill, and they will, I'm going to show you how they're going to do it because I already explained it to you. The market cap's below the goodwill price. Therefore, they take the difference and you get charged the difference. Now, it happened to GameStop, and they found a way to battle back. I hope AMC has a way to battle back from $5 billion worth of debt on the shareholder deficit side. That shareholder deficit should say shareholder equity, and your stock should be worth something, but it's not. You guys are buying into a deficit company because of this $5 billion that are weighing down. And the covenants are not even into effect right now, but when the covenants come into play, you guys are going to be amazed at who owns this company. You think retail owns the float? No, the bondholders own this company. So, and they want to hold it because they're the ones who get paid first. But I want to show you something, okay? Enough of that part. Let's just talk about the $2.3 billion in goodwill. As you go down, you're going to see they once had $4.5 billion worth of goodwill. They've burned off 2.2 billion. They're left with 2.3. I'm telling you what happened. They lost money because the market caps keep coming below what the appraisal fee is. And as the market cap keeps getting shot down, short sellers know this. Adam Aaron knows this. Sean Goodman knows this, the CFO. This is why they won't buy shares. I want you to see what happened with them in December of 2020. This is before your little ape movement and everyone getting in front of the camera. They lost $1.2 billion of goodwill impairment charges. That's on the balance sheet because the stock price was $450 million worth of market cap. Guess what happened to the stock price? Now that they've diluted their float, turned it all into nothing, just poured it all out into you, your valuation is $1.84 billion. Where are you going to find the $600 million to prop up this balance sheet? You can't, and it's not in movies. It's not in concessions. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about market cap versus what your assets are worth. And when you're below what you've told the whole world you're worth, you get charged for something. There's actual, I would tell you, for Adam Aaron himself and everyone else involved, all the insiders, they know this balance sheet. They know what their worth is, and everyone tells you this. You're going to have to pay up for it. You're going to have to own it. When they show you a market cap of $1.8 billion, it just got inflated, by the way. It was at 1.6, $1.7 billion, and their goodwill's at 2.3. They're going to show a $600 million loss on the balance sheet. It's going to happen. I already showed you guys in the GameStop videos how it looked. It looks terrible. And is it true? It's not necessarily true. AMC is operating flat as of Q2, which would be great, but they don't service their debt. They still have the $5 billion worth of debt, so what the hell are they going to do? The stock price still has room to move. The reason why Adam Aaron did a 10-1 reverse stock split was to get more equity out of the stock, so that they could take on this impairment charge. Remember, this is self-induced. They do shit like this. Buy back shares, release more shares, reverse stock split share, everything you want to think about. Just know what company you're involved with and how it's going to end up on your balance sheet. It's going to happen just like this. It's going to look like you lost $1 billion. It's going to look like you lost $500 million. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, we took an impairment charge. And oh, what do we do now? You file for bankruptcy. That's what you do. You run for the fucking hills. That's what you do. Excuse my language. I'm just telling you what it is, guys. Believe me or don't. Or if you don't understand it, that's one thing. But every time I look at this chart and I come through it, all I see is, you know what they did on the first 15 entries of this? They put it right here, guys. Goodwill, impairment charges may increase. This is all in the risk factors for the company. Right here, further impairment charges upon the portion of our goodwill. Long-lived assets, boom. Right here, risking related to the impairment losses, including with respect to the goodwill. Yeah, they know. They list it right here on the first. It's one of the first things right after COVID. It's right here. Boom. Risk relating to impairment losses, including the respect to our goodwill and intangibles. They're telling you what you're buying, and it's going to be obliterated. And that's the problem. That's the problem I have for you guys. So if you don't understand it, I'll say it to you one last time in a really relaxed way. You buy something, the third party gives it an appraisal. That's what your goodwill is. That's what the value is of that company, right? But if they said it's worth $4 billion and at the end of the year, your market cap's below $4 billion, well, then maybe it's not $4 billion. That's why they have this auditing process. This is not Enron. This is not bad auditors. This is not bad accounting. This is simple. You're not worth what you state you are. You will take an impairment charge. Understand that. Not everybody's meant to play in the stock market. Not everybody's meant to go and be a publicly traded company. When they go private and they start carving out assets and selling it all off, then you'll know what it is. You'll know exactly what it is. But if you watch Connecting the Dots, I tell you this. Private equity, over the last 50 years, this is what they do. They take companies, they plant their seeds, and they let them grow. And they maximize their exit. They were ready to leave in 2019. That's why the damn market cap was at 450. They were ready to let this company just fall apart. But somehow, some way, you idiots out there started pumping this stock in this company as if it were going to be the savior to everything. And if I'm calling you an idiot and you're offense by it's offensive. You talk to me this way, Marantz. Nah, maybe sometimes you just need to call a spade a spade. That's all it is. Good luck, guys. I'm going to keep educating you, and hopefully you'll make better decisions. Me, I buy GameStop. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Marantz. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop. You've been educated. Peace.